declare this meeting of Glamorgan Spring Bay Council held on Tuesday, the 26th of August 2025 open.
The Glamorgan Spring Bay Council acknowledges the traditional owners of our region and recognises their continuing connection to land, waters and culture. We pay our respects to their elders past and present.
Please be advised that this meeting is being audio and visually recorded. I ask that all attendees remain respectful and considerate of others, and advise that offensive, defamatory or threatening language or behaviour to those present or listening is not acceptable. Attendance, agenda item 1.1 is attendance. Councillors Churchill, Young, Walker, Deputy Mayor Simons, Councillor Gregson, Councillor Edwards, Mayor Arnold are present. We have an apology from Councillor McLeany. In attendance, we have the Acting General Manager and Director of Works and Infrastructure, Mr. Peter Porch, the Acting Director of Planning and Development, Mr. James Bonner, Executive Officer, Mrs. Jasmine Kerr, and Administration Officer, Ms. Isabel Clarkson. Agenda item 1.2, I understand there are no late reports, General Manager?
That's correct.
Thank you. 1.3, declaration of interest in a matter of a councillor. As Mayor, I request elected members to indicate whether they have 1, any interest personally or via a close associate, as defined in section 49 of the Local Government Act 1993, or 2, any conflict as described in the Model Code of Conduct for Councillors in any item included in the agenda. Councillor Walker.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I declare an interest, although I know I don't have to, but in light of conflicts, I'm declaring an interest in 3.1 in the confidential session of this meeting.
Thank you, Councillor Walker. Councillor Gregson.
Item 8.4, this one's for Christmas event support grant application. I'll exclude myself from that, please.
Thank you, Councillor Gregson. There are no other declarations. Thank you. Agenda item 2.1 is the ordinary meeting of council. There is a recommendation on page 5. Councillor Walker.
Thank you. I'll move that the minutes of the ordinary meeting of council held on the 22nd of July at 2025 at 2 p.m. be confirmed as a true and correct record.
Is there a seconder? Councillor Gregson, thank you. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Unanimous, thank you. Agenda item 2.2 is the date and purposes of workshops held. I note that there were none held during August. Public question time 3.1. There are nil notices and questions on notice. Acting General Manager, I take it there are no questions without notice.
That's correct.
Thank you. Agenda item 4 is the Planning Authority section. There are no reports for this agenda item. Agenda item 5 is the financial reports. There is a recommendation on page 10. Councillor Churchill, thank you.
I move that council receives and notes the financial reports as attached to this report for the period ended July 2025.
Is there a seconder? Councillor Edwards, thank you. Any questions or comments on the financial reports? Councillor Churchill as the mover.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Mayor. Just in the profit and loss there, PROSA reimbursement, I assume that's the PP RWS payment, is it?
Yes, that's correct.
Right, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And just to note there that the employee costs are way down, and that is a further indication or a continuing indication of our need to fill some employment vacancies, and that isn't really a positive in terms of the operation, but we need to be aware of that, and I think it's good for the community to at least be aware what's going on. Thank you.
Mr. Porch, no, don't wish to make a comment?
Only Madam Mayor, just to acknowledge that yes, those challenges are ongoing, and yes, we're doing what we can to fill those vacancies as they come about.
Thank you. Nothing further? Put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Agenda item 6.1 is the Tribunal Recreation Ground Advisory Committee minutes, the meeting of the 2nd of July. There is a recommendation on page 12. Councillor Walker,
Thank you. I'll move that the minutes of the Tribunal Recreation Ground Advisory Committee held on the Wednesday, the 2nd of July, 2025 be received and noted.
is there a seconder? Councillor Edwards. Councillor Walker, do you wish to add anything?
No, thank you.
Yes, the mover. Any questions or comments? Nothing further. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? Carried unanimously. Agenda item 7 are information reports. The first one is 7.1, the Acting General Manager, Mr Peter Porch. There is a recommendation on page 14. Councillor Young.
Madam Mayor, I move that council notes the information, save that council does not support the request for the continuation of the landfill levy letter that has been received by council from the Chief Executive Officer of Local Government Association, Dion Lester, and others.
You're not accepting that letter, Councillor Young. Is that what you're asking council to do in your motion?
We're not accepting the implication that flows that we agree to the continuation of the waste levy.
Councillor Young, I'm not sure about the motion in respect of this because this agenda item is only noting the information we've received and we haven't had a report on that letter yet. So I'm just...
Madam Mayor, it may be that I'll alter the motion that I've moved if the Acting General Manager can say that this council has not responded to the request.
Please, Madam Mayor, this council has not responded.
Well, if that's the case, I will move the motion
The council...
that the council notes the information.
Thank you, Councillor Young. I appreciate that. Do I have a seconder, please? Councillor Churchill, thank you. Councillor Young, do you wish to add anything?
Look, I do. This report, once again, is along the lines of our Acting General Manager's report. Very good and to the point. But there are some matters, not only the question of the letter from the gentleman and lady that I referred to about the continuation of the waste levy, and I have some strong views on that, but on the front page of the information report on item 13 of the agenda, 4th of July and the 7th of July, there's a note that there was an attendant or a meeting on Jane Hallett and Kerry Vincent, both ministers of the Crown, State Crown, and the State Grants Commission about the Grants Commission. I have some strong views on the question of the Grants Commission, and it requires more than just registering objections and bleating that we're not being treated fairly. It's not now the appropriate time perhaps to go into great detail about that because this is just reporting the event. But there are ways of changing the Grants Commission, and what has been done in the past or what has been recently suggested, in my experience in dealing with government of over 49 years, they won't work. It requires a different approach. I'm happy to go on at length about it or even shortly, but apart from that, I've got nothing further.
Councillor Young, I think it's fair to say that this council, for at least 10 years that I'm aware of, have been having this discussion, shall we say, with the State Grants Commission. And unfortunately, we don't seem to be getting
It's a waste of time.
very far advanced. Yes. So your point's taken. Any other questions or comments, Councillor Gregson?
On page 13, and just through the mayor, of course, to the Acting General Manager, could you elaborate on the Joan Howard and Kerry Vincent presentation of grant funding, and also the Spring Bay Studio, the ECTT CEO refunding 2025-26 and MOU, and the trial run of tomorrow working group meeting, please.
Mr. Porch?
Yeah, through you, Madam Mayor. Yes, we met with Jane Howard and Kerry Vincent to give them the presentation the council had with respect to the grant funding. That's all that was about. And the same for the Grants Commission. The ECTT, again, council passed in their budget the funding for ECTT, and that was just a meeting to confirm that situation. So nothing additional in there. Which other one was it? Sorry?
Trial run tomorrow working group meeting.
Yep. So attended a meeting of that group, which was the first of its inaugural meeting of it, which is part of the public consultation flowing from the state government's strategic regional partnership, Eastern Regional Strategic Regional Partnership, funded to ECTT, and their consultant that they've engaged is coordinating those meetings with the interested parties and working forward to develop the aims of that grant funding. They have the deed and have requirements to fulfil there, which we hope to see fruition of development around the Marina area and the aims and objectives of the various landowners and business interests associated with that and community as well.
So will council be kept up to date with who the current stakeholders are and who will be negotiated with?
There's certainly no reason not to keep council up to date with any of those matters, and they will be advised and apprised of developments as it progresses.
Yeah, and through the mayor, just last one, the Spring Bay Studio, what's the update on that one, please?
Through the mayor, it was meeting with the leadership of the community group that runs that, and they were able to advise of their thoughts around their future, and that's resulting in a paper that will go to the next council workshop.
Thank you.
Councillor Edwards?
Through you, Madam Mayor, a question for acting GM. There's been, I don't know if you can answer this or not. I've had a few inquiries about the trial run tomorrow in the marina, and there's concern from some of the locals about the security of the fishermen's berths along the front there, where the Roach's boat pulls up, whether they are secure and whether that the working capability of the board is going to remain and they're not going to be sort of shoved aside. And there is a lot of, I've had a few calls about it. I don't know if you can shed any light.
Through Madam Mayor, there is a representative of that group on that working group.
Yeah.
There's been a further meeting since then, which the acting director of Planning and Development attended while I was away on leave, and they've identified some objectives that one group involved in this would like to achieve, and it has some impact on others. And the whole purpose of this group is to identify those things and to work through and identify are there ways in which the sometimes competing interests can be ameliorated and change made that really doesn't impact one or the other necessarily, or if there is an impact, how can that be mitigated? So it's bearing fruit already in that we are identifying the different interests and the future plans for the I'll use the word stakeholders, and working together to see what is the outcome of that. So potential impact of that is, yes, some movement, some potential change to the layout of the marina to facilitate those things, which obviously there's some costs involved in. So we're in the process now of scoping up what that change would be, what the cost of those works would be, and ultimately who would pay for those things. So the process is one of bringing those different interests together to be able to work through these things, identify what costs are likely to be apparent in any change, and then acknowledging those that someone's got to pay for that and who's going to pay for that if those changes are going to be made.
Through you, Madam Mayor, who is the best person for me to tell these concerned citizens to contact for more information? Or will we be getting continual updates? Can I get them from somewhere? Because there is, as I said, there is concern. I'm, from a purely selfish reason, I'm very concerned that Colleen's coffee van stays there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll be devastated.
So through you again, Madam Mayor, as we identify decisions for council with respect to it, council owns the marina.
Yep.
And provides the leases for the berths.
Yep.
The berth holders have a legal right to those locations. So no change can be made to those, without the agreement of the various leaseholders. We want to maintain the rights of those leaseholders as they're commercial fishers, the ones particularly in question, and they make their living for this community through their operations there.
Absolutely.
We certainly are conscious that we need to be, any decisions that we're making on that need to involve them and to see whether, if there was movement proposed, how does that impact them? Does it impact them significantly? Is it impact for a couple of weeks while changes are made to the thing and no further impact, or is it a considerable impact over time? So those things will be considered as we understand what potential changes might occur in particular areas. So they will be involved in those discussions. We can't not, but we also, first of all, need to understand what could be done that would give them like for like, and what would be the cost of that, and is someone going to pay for that, or is the expense expected to be paid for by council, which would be a capital, obviously for council, that's a consideration of a capital expense for which, like any development, if a developer comes along, wants to do something that has an impact on the public purse, why isn't the developer paying for that? That's the question.
So just to clarify very quickly, the people who have a lease on the commercial vessels on their berths there, you can't move them unless they want to be moved. Yeah, a temporary hiccup, fair enough, but you can't say, sorry mate, you're over there.
It's not something we would want to do.
No.
We may have power under the lease to do that, but again, you've got a group of people there who are representative in the community, who are paid berths and want to continue operating there, and we don't want to unnecessarily upset those people for the benefit of somebody else. Yeah,
no, good. That'll ease.
Other questions? Councillor Churchill?
Just a quick comment on the back of all that. Both Councillor Gregson and Councillor Edwards have alluded to keeping council informed, and I think that is really important here, as council is one of probably the major stakeholder in this whole process. We need to continually be advised of decisions being made that are going to impact council's asset. Thank you.
something that could be included in the general manager's report each month or each time is the last time we read it?
Well, through you, Madam Mayor, it's, the process is moving reasonably quickly to a point where the initial funding will have achieved its objective, but at the end of that point, won't be any expenditure. So in the sense of council decisions, there won't be any decisions of council in that period, but we will bring information to council with reasonable frequency.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nothing further,
Thank
I'll
you.
put the motion. All those in favour, those against. Okay, thank you. Agenda item 7.2 is the Director of Works and Infrastructure. This is Mr. Porch again. There is a recommendation on page 19. Councillor Young,
I move that council notes the information.
seconded. Councillor Walker, thank you. Do you have any comments, Councillor Young?
No, none.
Nothing. Thank you. Any questions or comments in relation to this, Councillor Gregson?
I have a couple, with regard to the, on page 22,
I would struggle with page 22, Councillor,
It's not
because this
this
is.
oh, okay, no, that's fine, no, I'll go back one then. That's fine. Page 15, consultant services, design for buildings, what is it?
This book, what we're dealing with, councillor, is the report of the
7.2,
Director of Works and Infrastructure, Mr. Porch.
yeah, 7.2,
Yes,
that's correct, yeah, page 15.
page 15, thank you.
Design for buildings, is there any design for buildings at this present time?
Through you, Madam Mayor, yes, there is. There's the new public amenities at the marina, and a little bit of ongoing design work for the toilet shelter at the Bicheno skate park.
Thank you. And the second, on page 16, third-party bridge inspections, Auslan completed. What's the third party? Is that Ausban or?
Through you, Madam Mayor, yes, that's Ausban, and because they have the accreditation, they are able to provide that reporting and do so for most councils in Tasmania.
And through there again, on page 17, Jubilee Park Swansea tree inspections and trimming. 1 needs removal. PWS have approved removal. With regard to our last discussions, there may have been the trimming of that tree that was to be removed to ameliorate public safety. Has that gone ahead, or what's the current situation with regard to the tree?
Through you, Madam Mayor, the trimming has not occurred as yet. It's not going to be removed altogether, but we will trim it down to that junction area where the fungus and damage is in the tree. So it's likely to respring a bit of growth for a while, and we'll just monitor it.
Any other questions, Councillor Walker?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Through you to Acting General Manager Peter Porch. On page 17 of the report, 4 and 5 dot points down. Mulching and trimming of gardens at Esplanade Orford completed. Very positive feedback from residents and local businesses. And mulching and trimming of gardens down Riverside Drive underway and completed. I can tell you. Yeah, I have to agree with comment here that very positive reports back from the community. It looks fantastic and very much more inviting, and Riverside Drive's parklands look really, really nice. We just need to tidy up directly opposite. I didn't say anything this morning.
Any other questions or comments in the Director of Works and Infrastructure report? Nothing, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? Carried unanimously. 7.3 is the Acting Director of Planning and Development, Mr. James Bonner's report. There is a recommendation on page 23. Councillor Churchill?
I move that council receives and notes the report on the activities on the Planning and Development Directorate.
Thank you. Seconder, Councillor Walker. Questions or comments, councillor Churchill?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. It's good to note that we now have some compliance officers with the training for the through NRE for our environmental activities, and the weed management plans are now in a draft state. So hopefully that'll still soon be coming to council for our approval or otherwise. And that's about it from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments, Mr. Bonner? Thank you, councillor Gregson.
Okay. Through there, I'll refer this one to
Councillor Gregson, I'm going to just ask Mr. Bonner to join us at the table. It makes it easier for him to answer your questions without you turning around. Mr. Bonner, thank you.
On page 22, there are two outstanding appeals that are currently in mediation. Refusal for a two-lot strata title application at 25 Hazards View, Coles Bay, and approval for a change of use to Cafe and Bar at 68 Registered Fisherman. I'm just wondering, for the change of use to Cafe and Bar, does that require a development application, and there was it only two or less representations with regard to that?
Mr. Bonner.
Jim, yes, there was a development application submitted and approved for the change of use, and we had less than the three representations. I think we might have only had one.
So it's gone through on that basis.
It was determined under delegated authority. Yes,
And it's in mediation at the moment.
that's correct.
How is mediation going?
Councillor Gregson,
I can't really-
that's not a question.
Right, okay.
That's not a question. That's appropriate.
Right, okay. And the one for refusal of a two-lot strata title application, is that still, is it three or less representations with regard to that? That's still an application.
It's a strata title application. It's not an application that is advertised for a strata title, and that is in currently in mediation as well.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Any other questions or comments on Mr. Bonner's report? Nothing further. Thank you, Mr. Bonner. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? It's carried unanimously. Thank you. Agenda item 8.1 is the, 8 is the officers' reports requiring a decision. 8.1 is the review of the delegation register. There is a recommendation on page 26. Councillor Young, thank you.
I move that council endorses the revised delegations register as attached to this report, item effective 8 September 2025, and notes that for the avoidance of doubt, Chief Executive Officer means the General Manager.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Deputy Mayor Simons, thank you. Councillor Young, do you wish to make any comment?
Only briefly, Madam Mayor, the delegation register has to be updated because there's been a change to the Act. Otherwise, the powers that have been delegated over the last few years to the General Manager have been exercised very well.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments in relation to the delegations register? It's a statutory requirement. Nothing further? I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? Carried unanimously. Agenda item 8.2 is the assessment of council-related development application policy. There is a recommendation on page 29. Councillor Walker, I wonder if I could ask you to close that window. It's quite noisy. Thank you.
I know.
So there is a recommendation on page 29 for agenda item 8.2. Deputy Mayor Simons, thank you.
I'll move that council adopts the assessment of council-related development applications policy as attached to this report, item effectively 26th of August 2025.
Is there a seconder? Councillor Churchill, thank you. Deputy Mayor, any comments, questions?
No.
Nothing further. Councillor Churchill?
No, I have no comments or questions. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
No comments or questions. I'm fine.
Any other questions or comments? Councillor Gregson?
Through the Mayor, this is an upgrade of the council related development applications. What is it now before this amendment?
I'm sorry.
What is the current situation of council development applications in comparison?
Mr.
to what the
Bonner, are
new one
you
is?
happy to answer that?
Through you, Mayor.
Thank
We
you.
currently do not have a policy in place. So while I don't think we've had any issues, it's prudent to have a policy in place. So if there is a council application made, we have a procedure in place on how to deal with it to reduce any risk of a conflict of interest.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Nothing further. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? Carried unanimously. Agenda item 8.3 is a community small grant application by the Spring Bay Community Food Hub. There is a recommendation on page 32. Deputy Mayor Simons, thank you.
I'll move that council approve the application for community small grant funding of $1,000 to Spring Bay Community Food Hub purchase of food and essential supplies.
Seconded, Councillor Walker. Deputy Mayor, you wish to speak?
It's just a very worthwhile cause and I think it's good that we can support it.
Thank you. Any other questions? Any other comments? Councillor Gregson?
I was just wondering, where does the food hub operate from? In Melbourne?
Vickery Street, Tribunal.
And it's mainly supplied by Food Bank.
Yes.
Yeah. And also, I noticed in the attachment, it expends $1,600 per week. Is that correct?
I have no idea. I can only go on what is reported, but it wouldn't surprise me if it is $1,600 or more because it has been particularly successful. They've had to move into a new venue because they grew out of the other one very, very quickly.
And it's only for food. It doesn't have any hygiene products.
Doesn't have what?
Any hygiene products for women or something
It
like that
has-
as well?
Councillor Gregson, I think that's probably an inappropriate question, but it provides as many products as they can to people that are finding it very, very difficult to work through this current cost of living. So it's not just food, it is all products that are needed by people that are struggling. Councillor Gregson, Councillor Churchill, sorry,
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it reads to me like this is an organisation that's going to require a lot more than our very small contribution to it. I think so. I don't know if there's any way that council can give further consideration to this organisation through some other avenue. It might be something worth our while spending some time on in a workshop or something to give it further consideration. Just the numbers that they're talking about and the work they do, I think it requires as much help as we can give.
I am aware that they have moved further afield than Tribunal. They are actually supplying and delivering to Swansea. So it's become quite a difficult thing. And they have been very fortunate to receive a lot of support from some of the businesses in the area as well. So I think this will just be, the reality is, as councillors know, the insurance and other operating costs become quite expensive for small community groups. And so I think this is just a small way for council to assist with their purchase of future supplies.
Yeah, thank
Councillor
you.
Walker,
Further
thank you.
comment to everyone else's. I'm aware that they run raffles quite regularly
To raise money.
to raise money for the food hub, and also they've just, and I'm not sure how it was acquired, but they've just got a new food van. And
It was-
former ambulance.
they received a state government grant. There was a little while ago, the state government put out a specific grant for food hubs and the like. And I understand that they applied and they were successful. And that was good too. And it was support from that arrived with support from the state government.
Yeah, thank you for that. And so I just wanted to acknowledge the hard work that they do, not just supplying and helping out needy families, but you know, they're doing everything they can to raise awareness and raise their own funding and that. So they're working very hard as a volunteer group.
And I think it's probably also worthwhile mentioning that you don't have to have any form of government assistance or anything to access it. And it is open to every member of the community. And I know, and I don't know about this hub, but I do know in other community food hubs there are people who access the food hub because they know that the single mum down the road is struggling with things, so they'll go and buy some products and deliver them. So there's members of the community who are doing that through the community food hub as well, not necessarily for themselves, but for the community. So it has been, in my view, it's sad that we have to have it in this day and age, but it has been an absolute burden to our community.
Yeah.
So if there's nothing further, I will put the motion. All those in favour, those against, carried unanimously. The agenda item 8.4, Councillor Gregson, you chose to declare an interest in this. Are you on the organising committee?
No, but I am part of the Glamorgan Spring Bay Historical Society.
The what, sorry?
The Glamorgan Spring Bay Historical Society.
Right,
Who are auspicing this.
they're auspicing. Okay,
So
right,
I
so,
thought to take anything.
sure.
I'll remember.
Yes, we'll get you back in when we've dealt with it. Thank you, councillor. So agenda item 8.4 is the Swansea Community Christmas Event Support Grant Application. It is recommendation on page 36. Councillor Churchill, sorry.
I move that council approve the application for event support from Swansea Community Christmas for $2,000 towards the Swansea Community Christmas event.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Councillor Edwards, thank you. Noting that this is not a community grant, but rather a community event. Councillor Churchill, do you wish to add anything?
No, it's pretty obvious what the money is being used for, and they do this event very well each year. So that's all I need to say. Thank you.
And like our previous application, anything that can bring some joy to our community is very worthwhile. Anything further? Nothing further. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? It's against, carried unanimously. Mr. Bonner, thank you. You might let Mr. Councillor Gregson know. Councillor Gregson, I'm delighted to advise you that council approved unanimously the application by the Swansea Community Christmas Group. Thank you. Agenda item 9 is councillors' motions with, there are nil councillor motions with notice, there are nil petitions at agenda item 10. Agenda item 11.1 is councillors' question time. There is a question from Councillor Gregson that requires a response from me.
Well, what page is that, Madam?
Page 39, I believe, councillor. Page 39?
It doesn't have a page on it. Yes, it does.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor,
Yes. Did I miss
this
something?
question, well, it's almost a point of order. This question doesn't seem to be addressed to you, it's addressed to council in general.
It's intended for me.
Doesn't appear to be so.
Would you like me to clarify that?
Yes, I think I would.
Yes, it is addressed to the mayor.
Would you please speak up? I can't hear councillor Gregson.
Yes, it is addressed to the mayor.
That's how I read it, councillor Young.
And why is it something that ought to be in general meeting rather than a question outside council?
Councillor Young, would you allow me to address that?
It is, if you wish to address, I would not object.
Thank you. So councillor Gregson, I thank you for your question. I will not address the who or the when aspects of the question. As to be frank, the answer has little relevance to the statement I made. Now, before one of you run off to do yet another code of conduct on me, let's explain the why. I had the audacity to question the actions of the legal representative on the panel in question. Despite receiving an apology in the hearing, I feel that the sanction imposed in the determination in question was vindictive. I was reminded that the same legal representative was on the first code of conduct that was referenced in the determination that formed part of the reasons for the severity of the sanction. I'm not aware of a time in the life of a code of conduct panel when any member has to declare a perceived conflict. So my perception of vindictiveness is enhanced on this occasion. My statement contained criticism of the Code of Conduct panel for directing this council to have the determination in an open agenda, despite me asking the chair of the panel in the hearing to consider the implications of that when the matter related substantially to a confidential personnel matter, a matter that is now the subject of a non-disclosure, non-disparagement agreement that this council agreed to. It appears that Code of Conduct panels are a law unto themselves, and there is little recourse for elected members or indeed a council when a panel directs certain actions, even if it means disclosing aspects of a personnel matter that should remain confidential. I was attempting to protect this council from any potential legal action by a former employee by being critical of the panel and protecting myself from retaliatory action from the panel if in fact they had the power to do that. I'm disappointed that you didn't pick up the phone and ask me what the situation was. I believe this question has little relevance to municipal speculation as suggested in your question. There is nothing for the community to speculate about. It is my view that it is only designed to fuel the fire of discontent in this chamber, the bitterness in this chamber, and the desire to destroy this council and others that has been exhibited over the past 12 months must stop for the good of this council, our residents and ratepayers, and the future of our area.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
11.2 is comments and statements. Are there any comments and statements? Councillor Walker?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. I would like to inform council that whilst you were not here,
Yes.
Councillor Simons or Acting Mayor Simons asked me to MC the Australian of the Year Tasmanian Recipients Tour out at the East Coaster. And I'm glad you couldn't do it. It was one of the highlights of my life within council. It was very humbling to be in the room with such amazing people. Karen Franks, she was a 2025 local hero and the founder and CEO of Young Leaders of Tasmania, an inspiring non-for-profit organisation showing how inclusion benefits everyone. Her story is amazing, her tenacity and her belief in the young people, whether they have disabilities or not. Was just very humbling. Sam Elson from the Sea Forest out here, he spoke. He was the Tasmanian of the Year, or he was the recipient of the Tasmanian Australian of the Year. He's very inspirational. You know, the way he spoke and how he spoke was again amazing. And then we had Ariane Titmus, the Tasmanian Australian of the Year as well. The way she delivered herself was nothing short of inspiring for young. I'm too old for this stuff now, but you know, for the young people of the world, just beautiful people. They did a tour around Tasmania, and we were very, very lucky to have them here. We only had a small amount of people there, however, it was very well received, and I think we were almost the last stop, and they were getting quite tired. But yeah, no, I just thank you for not being able to make it, Councillor Simons. And also, this is, I'm just going to make it known that this is the last meeting that we'll have our acting general manager, Peter Forge, and I would like to acknowledge and thank you for what you've done and how you've stepped up to the plate with regards to this council and tried and did the best that you could for us, for our community. Nothing short of amazing in my opinion, considering what you've had to go through. And I just want to thank you and wish you luck back in your regular position. And I also look forward to meeting and having Greg Torrey on board as of the 8th of September. So thank you, Mr. Porch.
Councillor Young.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to thank the Acting General Manager for doing a wondrous job in very difficult circumstances. Most general managers wouldn't strike the ups and downs that he's had to deal with in the whole of their general managership career. Thank you very much.
Councillor Gregson.
I have a couple of so-called comments. I'd just like to congratulate the Tribunna Football Club that celebrated its 122nd anniversary. Unfortunately, it went down in the preliminary final against Bothwell, and Bothwell went on to defeat Campania. Poor old Campania having won the grand final since 1963, but well done Tribunna for its 125th anniversary of the football club. And also, I also attended the Australian of the Year Tasmania tour at the East Coast of Walford, which is emceed by Councillor Walker here, which is a fantastic event and really quite enlightening. And as Councillor Walker quite correctly said, it's really for people to strive for that ability of Ariane fitness, etc. But there's very few people there, which is rather sad in actual fact. But also, as part of Beaker Street Festival, I went on to the tour of the Sea Forest Research Station on the other side of the river here, and that was very enlightening on the Sunday. And finally, I'd like to just acknowledge a Tasmanian Aboriginal elder, which I cannot name because of cultural reasons, who really contributed to maintaining the cultural activities of his for want of a better word, and also the wider Tasmanian community. So I'd like to acknowledge the passing of that elder.
Thank you. Any other comments? I'd just like to add to the comments about Mr. Porch. So as the date of the arrival of our new CEO fast approaches, and I'm sure not fast enough for Mr. Porch, I'd like to take this opportunity to publicly thank you for the conduct of the Office of General Manager and your support of the Office of Mayor over the past 12 months. I'm not going to pretend that everything we did was perfect, but you undertook the role of Acting General Manager whilst maintaining your role of Director Works and Infrastructure with a professionalism that's beyond reproach. So thank you, Mr. Porch, for a job well done during what can only be described as a difficult 12 months. Thank you. Agenda item 12 is the In
confidential.
accordance with the requirements of the Local Government Meeting Procedure Regulation 2025, as Mayor, I declare the meeting closed to the public in order to discuss the following matters. Agenda item 1.1, requests for leave of absence. 1.2, notification of leave of absence for parental leave. Agenda item 2.1, minutes of the closed session, the ordinary council meeting on the 22nd of July. Agenda item 3.1, reseal and pavement rehabilitation tender, and item 3.2, a tender for the truck replacement. There is a recommendation on page 40. Councillor Walker, thank you.
I move that council moves into closed session at 2:51 PM.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Deputy Mayor, thank you. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Thank you. Mrs. Kerr, you might confirm when the recording has been